The sky above Nevada turned an unusual shade of purple as the alien ship broke through the clouds. People all over the world watched on their screens. Some felt fear, others felt hope. This was the day that would change human history forever, Captain. Zarthol looked at the blue planet through the viewing screen of his ship. Earth was the 18th world his crew had visited for first contact. All previous missions had gone well. New civilizations were always nervous at first, but they quickly saw the benefits of joining the Galactic Cooperative. Zarthol had no reason to think this mission would be any different. "Begin landing sequence," he ordered. His crew members moved their forearms quickly over control panels. The ship, called the Luminous Horizon, slowly descended toward the designated landing zone. On the ground, hundreds of people worked quickly to prepare. Military vehicles formed a wide circle around the landing area. Scientists checked their equipment. Government officials adjusted their ties and straightened their jackets. Frank Miller stood tall as he watched the alien ship approach. As commander of the United States Space Command, he had been the first human to receive the alien message. It had come through his systems at Armstrong Base on the Moon just 24 hours earlier. "We come in peace. Prepare for arrival." Frank looked to his right where Dr. Amanda Wright was checking her tablet one last time. She was the best xenobiologist on Earth and had been chosen to lead the scientific team. "Are you ready for this, Amanda?" Frank asked. She smiled nervously. "As ready as anyone can be to meet aliens?" General Henry Carter joined them, his face serious. "The president just called. She says not to mess this up." He didn't smile when he said it. The alien ship was massive, at least 300 meters long. It hovered silently above the desert floor for a moment, then settled down with barely a sound. The gathered humans held their breath. For 5 long minutes, nothing happened. Then, with a soft hiss, a section of the ship's hull slid open. A ramp extended to the ground. "Here we go," Frank whispered. 3 tall figures appeared at the top of the ramp. They walked with grace despite having bodies very different from humans. Their skin was blue and seemed to shine with its own light. Each alien had 4 long arms and moved with careful steps down the ramp. Amanda stepped forward as planned, with Frank and General Carter right behind her. 20 security officers formed a line behind them, their hands resting near their weapons but not on them. The lead alien stopped a few meters away from the humans. It was taller than any human, standing about 7 feet high. Its large eyes were completely black and showed no emotion that humans could read. "Greetings," it said in perfect English. The voice came from a small device on what appeared to be its chest. "I am Captain Zarthile of the exploration vessel Luminous Horizon. We represent the Galactic Cooperative, a union of 97 intelligent species across this sector of the galaxy." Amanda stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth. I am Dr. Amanda Wright. This is Commander Frank Miller and General Henry Carter. We represent the people of Earth." She tried to keep her voice steady despite her racing heart. Captain Zarthal made a movement with his upper right arm that might have been a greeting. "We have observed your world for some time. Your technological development has reached the stage where contact is appropriate. The Galactic Cooperative wishes to evaluate your civilization for potential membership." Frank moved forward to stand beside Amanda. "We're honored by your visit and open to discussion about this cooperative." He extended his hand in the universal human gesture of greeting. The alien captain stared at Frank's outstretched hand. Among Zarthal's people, showing empty palms to a new contact was considered a deadly insult. It suggested the person was too weak to be worthy of respect. Captain Zarthal had been briefed on many possible human customs, but this gesture had not been in the reports. The captain's second-in-command, Officer Mavener, saw the gesture and misunderstood. In their culture, this was a challenge that required immediate response. Before Captain Zarthal could stop him, Mavener pulled out a small device from his belt. One of the human security officers saw the sudden movement and the unknown object. He reacted based on his training. "Weapon!" he shouted, raising his gun. General Carter yelled, "Hold your fire!" But it was too late. The security officer fired a single shot. The bullet hit Officer Mavener in the chest. The alien fell backward, blue liquid spreading across his body covering. The third alien pulled out a similar device. This time, it activated. Before anyone could react, a pulse of energy shot out, hitting the human security officer who had fired the gun. The man dropped to the ground without making a sound. Captain Zarthal moved quickly, grabbing the weapon from his crew member. "Stop! This is a misunderstanding!" More security officers raised their weapons. Frank stepped in front of Amanda to protect her. "Everyone stand down," he shouted. "Do not fire." But another alien had emerged from the ship and saw the scene below. This one carried what was clearly a weapon. It fired at the humans, and a beam of light struck another security officer, who fell. General Carter drew his sidearm and fired 3 shots at the new threat. The alien at the top of the ramp collapsed. For a few terrible seconds, everyone froze. 2 aliens and 2 humans lay on the ground, either dead or badly hurt. Captain Zarthal backed away toward the ship, still holding his hands up to show he meant no harm. "We will withdraw. This first contact has failed." His voice remained calm. Despite the disaster, "Wait," Amanda called out. "Please, we can fix this. It was a misunderstanding." But the remaining aliens were already retreating into their ship. The rump began to close. Within minutes, the alien vessel rose silently into the air. It hovered for a moment, then shot upward with incredible speed, disappearing into the clouds. In the medical tent set up nearby, doctors worked to save the wounded security officer. The other had died instantly from the alien weapon. Frank found Amanda sitting alone, staring at her tablet but not really seeing it. "This is a disaster," she said without looking up. "We couldn't have predicted this," Frank replied. But his words felt empty. On the luminous horizon, Captain Zarthal recorded his report for the Galactic Cooperative High Council. First contact with species designation human has resulted in casualties: 3 deaths, 2 cooperative representatives and 1 human. Initial assessment: humans appear peaceful but possess unexpected, lethal capabilities and react with extreme speed to perceived threats. Their biology is similar to other carbon-based life forms, but their response time exceeds normal parameters. He paused, considering his next words carefully. Recommendation: approach with extreme caution. Despite their relatively primitive technology, humans demonstrate unusual defensive reflexes and decision-making speed that makes them potentially dangerous. Further contact should be conducted only with full security protocols in place. As the ship accelerated toward the edge of the solar system, Captain Zarthal looked at the blue planet growing smaller on the viewing screen. In all his years of first contact missions, he had never encountered a species that moved from greeting to lethal force so quickly. The humans were different. They were unpredictable, and in the captain's experience, unpredictable species were the most dangerous kind in the galaxy. The luminous horizon vanished into faster-than-light travel, leaving Earth behind. But Captain Zarthal knew this would not be the end of the story. The Galactic Cooperative never left unfinished business. They would return to Earth. And next time, they would be prepared for the lethal humans. 2 weeks passed since the failed first contact. Earth was in a state of nervous waiting. Would the aliens return? What would they do next? Every government prepared for the worst while hoping for peace. Dr. Amanda Wright hadn't slept well since that day in the Nevada desert. She replayed the events in her mind over and over. If only they had known that extending a hand would be seen as an insult. Such a small thing had led to deaths on both sides. She was in her office at the International Contact Committee headquarters when her phone rang. It was Frank Miller. "Amanda, they're back," he said without greeting. "A new ship just entered Earth. Orbit, bigger than the first one." Amanda's heart raced. "Have they made contact?" "Yes, they say they've sent an ambassador to fix the unfortunate misunderstanding." Their words, not mine. Within hours, Amanda found herself in a meeting at the United Nations in New York. Representatives from every major nation filled the room. The tension was thick enough to touch. Susan Campbell, the President of the United States, stood at the front of the room. "The alien ship is 3 times the size of the first one. Our military is on high alert, but we must try to make peace. We cannot afford another mistake. Dr. Kevin Blackwell, a senior advisor on alien technology, shook his head. Madam President, we must be careful. These aliens could have technology centuries beyond ours. The first ship might have been a scout. This larger one could be the start of an invasion. The room erupted in worried voices until President Campbell raised her hand for silence. We will maintain open communication while taking necessary precautions. That is our only option. In space, Ambassador Vexener prepared for his mission. The Galactic Cooperative had sent him to salvage the situation. He had handled difficult first contacts before, but never one that had started with bloodshed. We must understand these humans better before attempting direct contact again, he told his team of cultural specialists. Send out the observation drones to major population centers. Keep them high enough not to cause alarm. We need data on their daily behaviors. The drones left the ship, spreading out to different parts of Earth. They were small, round objects that could hover silently and record everything they saw. They were not marked with any symbols or lights that would identify them as alien technology on Earth. Military radar operators noticed the small objects entering the atmosphere. Sir, we have multiple unidentified flying objects splitting up. Over the Atlantic, reported a young radar technician to his superior within minutes. Military bases around the world were tracking the strange objects. None of them responded to radio calls. They just continued on their paths toward major cities. At a military base near Seattle, Captain Olivia Green watched the radar screen with growing concern. One of the objects was heading directly toward her base. It could be a weapon, her second-in-command suggested. Captain Green made a quick decision. We can't take that risk. Shoot it down. A surface-to-air missile launched from the base. It hit the drone directly. The explosion was bigger than expected. As the drone was destroyed, it released a powerful electromagnetic pulse, a defensive measure built into all cooperative technology. The pulse disabled the power grid for 100 miles around the base. Seattle went dark, hospitals switched to emergency power. Traffic lights failed, causing accidents throughout the city. Similar scenes played out across the world as military forces shot down more drones. Paris, Tokyo, Cairo, Rio de Janeiro, Sydney. In each place, the destroyed drones released pulses that caused chaos. On the cooperative ship, Ambassador Vexener received the alarming reports. The humans are destroying our observation drones. They are treating our peaceful mission as hostile. He followed the protocol for dealing with aggressive species. Activate defensive shields. The massive ship was soon surrounded by a glowing energy field. It was visible from Earth. A new star-like object that suddenly brightened in the night sky. In orbit around Earth, Major Richard Daniels commanded the newly operational defense platform called Aegis. It was humanity's first orbital weapon system. Built with technology reverse-engineered from pieces of the first alien ship. Sir, the alien vessel has activated some kind of energy shield, reported his weapons officer. It could be preparing to attack? Major Daniels contacted Earth Command and received his orders. Fire a warning shot near the alien ship to show Earth's defensive capabilities. Target a point 500 meters from the vessel, Daniels ordered. Fire when ready. The Aegis platform fired a concentrated energy beam. It was meant to miss the ship, but something unexpected happened. The beam was attracted to the alien shield, like lightning to a metal rod. It struck the shield directly. The alien shield technology was not designed to handle Earth-based energy weapons. The shield didn't just fail, it collapsed inward, creating a cascade effect that fed energy back into the ship's systems. Ambassador Vexener felt his ship shake violently. What's happening? His chief engineer looked at the readings with disbelief. The human weapon has caused a feedback loop in our shields. It's overloading all systems? We need to shut down the main power or the explosion lit up Earth's orbit like a new sun. The cooperative ship broke apart, pieces of it burning up in the atmosphere like hundreds of shooting stars. On Earth, communications went down globally. The electromagnetic storm created by the ship's destruction was far more powerful than the pulses from the drones. For 3 days, the entire planet would be without satellite communications. Internet or long-distance communications. In the darkness of her apartment, lit only by candles, Amanda Wright watched the pieces of the alien ship burn up in the night sky. Tears ran down her face. So many lives lost because of misunderstandings and fear. Frank Miller found her there hours later. He looked exhausted and grim. It wasn't supposed to be a direct hit, he explained. It was a warning shot. Something about their shield technology reacted with our weapon in a way we couldn't have predicted. They'll see it as an attack, Amanda said quietly. We've killed their ambassador. Frank nodded. The president has ordered all remaining alien technology to be studied immediately. We need to prepare for what comes next. And what do you think comes next? Amanda asked. Frank looked out the window at the still falling debris. I think we just started a war we may not be able to win. In the depths of space, the Galactic Cooperative High Council received the final transmission from Ambassador Vexenor's ship. The data showed the unexpected weapon, the shield failure, and the destruction of a diplomatic vessel with over 300 crew members. The humans have destroyed a peaceful mission, said Council Member Tyrax. They attacked our observation, drones, and then our ship. They must be considered hostile. Another council member looked troubled. But their weapons shouldn't have been able to destroy our ship so easily. Either their technology is far more advanced than we believed, or there is something unique about their weapons that interacts dangerously with our systems. Either way, said Tyrax, they are too dangerous to ignore. We must respond with appropriate measures. The High Council voted unanimously. Earth would be classified as a threat. The cooperative would send a proper assessment team to determine exactly how dangerous humans truly were. The news of the destroyed alien ship spread quickly once global communications were restored. Some people celebrated it as a victory. Others worried about what would come next. World leaders met day and night to prepare for possible alien retaliation. Far away in another part of the galaxy, the Galactic Cooperative High Council gathered for an emergency meeting. The large circular room was filled with representatives from dozens of alien species. They all watched as the final moments from Ambassador Vexenor's ship played on the main screen. The evidence is clear, said Council Member Tyrax, a tall, thin alien with gray skin. These humans destroyed our diplomatic vessel with a single shot from a primitive weapon. This should not have been possible. Another council member, a small floating creature named Zinva, spoke up. There is something unusual about human technology. It interacts with our systems in ways we have never seen before. The head of the council, an ancient being called Elder Quarok, raised a hand for silence. We must learn more before we decide how to respond. I propose we send a scientific team to observe the humans from a safe distance. They will establish a hidden base on the red planet in the same system. The council voted and approved the plan. A science vessel named the Silent Observer left immediately for Earth's solar system. Its mission was to watch the humans and determine their true level of threat. On Earth, scientists worked day and night to understand the alien technology recovered from the first contact site and from the debris of the destroyed ship. At MIT, Dr. Patricia Nelson made an important discovery. She was examining a small piece of metal from the alien ship under a microscope when she noticed something strange. The metal was changing color where her fingers had touched it. Hand me that scanner, she said to her assistant. She ran several tests and then sat back in surprise. This is incredible. The alien materials are reacting to human biochemistry. Something in our cells causes their technology to break down. She immediately called a meeting with the Joint Military Scientific Task Force. Government officials, scientists, and military leaders gathered to hear her findings. The aliens' technology is partly biological, Dr. Nelson explained, showing slides on a screen. It's designed to work with their biochemistry, but human DNA and proteins have an opposite effect. We're literally toxic to their systems. General Carter frowned. So when our weapons hit their ship, it wasn't just the energy of the blast, Dr. Nelson said. It was the trace human biological material in the beam. Our weapon carried human cellular material, which created a reaction in their shield that their systems couldn't handle. In a hidden facility deep under the mountains in Colorado, Lieutenant Colonel Jack Winters led a different kind of research. His team was trying to adapt alien technology for human use. "Try it now," he told the engineer working on a small engine. Taken from one of the alien drones, the engineer activated the device. Like previous attempts, it started to work but quickly failed. Jack slammed his fist on the table in frustration. "We're missing something," he said. Then he remembered Dr. Nelson's recent report about human biochemistry affecting alien technology. What if we need to change it completely instead of just trying to make it work as is? Jack had an idea. He took a small sample of human blood and carefully applied it to one of the alien metal components. At first, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the metal began to change color, just as Dr. Nelson had observed. But instead of breaking down, it seemed to be getting stronger. "It's not just toxic to their technology," Jack said with growing excitement. "Our DNA is changing it, making it compatible with us. We're not just using their technology, we're transforming it." Over the next weeks, Jack's team made rapid progress. They found that human DNA actually enhanced certain properties of the alien metals. Soon they had working prototypes of engines, weapons, and communication devices based on alien technology but powered by human biological material. On Mars, the alien scientific team set up their hidden observation post. They built it underground to avoid detection by human satellites. From there, they monitored all communications and activities on Earth. Science Officer Curran was analyzing energy readings from the planet when he noticed something alarming. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from several locations on Earth. They appear to be using our technology, but it's changed somehow." Captain Lerec of the Silent Observer looked at the readings with concern. "How is this possible? They shouldn't be able to adapt our technology so quickly." "They're not just adapting it," Curran said. "They're improving it. Look at these power readings. They're higher than our original designs." The captain immediately sent a report to the High Council. "The humans are advancing at an unprecedented rate. They have taken our technology and are modifying it in ways we did not think possible. Their rate of technological development exceeds any species we have encountered previously." In the council chambers, Elder Quarok read the report with growing alarm. "This cannot be allowed to continue. If the humans master our technology and combine it with their unusual biological properties, they could become a threat to the entire cooperative." Council member Tyrax nodded in agreement. "We must act now, before they advance further. I propose immediate containment procedures." Containment was the cooperative's term for restricting a dangerous species to their home planet. It often involved destroying their space capabilities and setting up a blockade around their world. "We will need a significant force," another council member pointed out. "If their weapons could destroy Ambassador Vexener S' ship, they might be able to damage our containment vessels as well." Elder Quarak made the final decision. "Prepare the war fleet. Earth will be classified as a Class 5 threat world, requiring our highest level of response. We cannot allow these humans to spread beyond their planet." Back on Earth, no one knew about the decision that had just been made. The work continued. Dr. Nelson's discovery led to new medical treatments using modified alien biological components. Jack Winter's team developed new energy sources and propulsion systems. In just 6 months since first contact, humanity had advanced its technology by nearly a century. The first human spacecraft using the new technology were already being built. People talked about establishing a colony on Mars within the year. Frank Miller and Amanda Wright met for coffee at a small cafe in Washington, D.C., despite the disaster. Of first contact, Amanda had not given up hope for eventual peaceful relations with the aliens. "We're learning so much," she said. "Imagine what we could accomplish if we could actually work together with them instead of this standoff." Frank looked less optimistic. "The president is worried. Our intelligence suggests there's alien activity on Mars. They're watching us, Amanda, and they're not making any attempts to communicate." "What do you think they're waiting for?" Amanda asked. Frank stared into his coffee cup. I don't know. But I don't think we'll have to wait much longer to find out. High above Earth in the darkness of space, the first ships of the cooperative war fleet emerged from faster-than-light travel. More followed until 50 massive vessels took position around Earth's orbital plane. Each carried enough firepower to destroy a continent. The time for observation and assessment was over. The cooperative had made its decision. Humanity was too dangerous to be allowed to develop further. Containment would begin immediately. The first person to spot the alien fleet was a hobby astronomer in Australia. She was looking at Jupiter through her backyard telescope when she noticed strange lights moving near Earth's orbit. She posted pictures online, and within hours, the world knew they were not alone in the sky. Military satellites confirmed the worst fears. 50 alien ships had surrounded Earth. They were massive vessels, each one larger than anything humans had ever built. World leaders gathered for an emergency meeting at the United Nations. President Susan Campbell addressed the tense room. We have received a message from the alien fleet. They call themselves the Galactic Cooperative. They demand that we surrender all adapted alien technology and accept their oversight of our planet. If we refuse, they threaten to destroy our major cities. General Carter stood up. Madam President, we cannot surrender. The adapted technology is our only chance against their superior firepower. I agree, said Frank Miller. Our orbital defense platforms are ready? We have 12 of them positioned around Earth. They use the modified alien technology that Lieutenant Colonel Winters and his team developed. Dr. Patricia Nelson spoke next. The aliens don't fully understand what we've discovered about their technology. They don't know that we've learned how our DNA affects their systems. We might have a chance if we use that knowledge. The decision was made. Earth would fight. Fleet Commander Luxonar of the Cooperative War Fleet looked at the blue planet on his view screen. He had led many containment operations, but never against a species that had already destroyed 2 cooperative vessels. Send the ultimatum again, he ordered. Give them 6 Earth hours to respond. The humans' answer came sooner than expected. Not in words, but in action. 12 small objects rose from Earth's surface. They took positions in a pattern around the planet. They appear to be weapon platforms, reported the fleet's tactical officer. Primitive designs, but they contain elements of our technology. Commander Luxonar was not concerned. They're attempting to defend themselves with stolen technology they barely understand. Target those platforms and destroy them. The 12 human defense platforms did something unexpected. Instead of firing directly at the alien ships, they each fired a concentrated energy beam into the space between the cooperative vessels. The beams met in the middle, creating a web of energy around Earth. What are they doing? Commander Luxonar asked. Their weapons aren't even aimed at our ships. It appears to be some kind of energy field, said the tactical officer. But it's too weak to stop our weapons. It's a pointless defense. Commander Luxonar gave the order to fire. Target their largest cities first. Begin with their northern continent. The cooperative ships fired powerful energy weapons. But as their beams passed through the energy web created by the human platforms, something strange happened. The web didn't block the alien weapons. It changed them. Dr. Nelson had made a breakthrough in her research. She had discovered that certain energy frequencies could spread human DNA patterns the same way the aliens' biochemistry affected their technology. The defense platforms weren't meant to stop the alien attack. They were designed to infect it. The alien weapons fired through the human energy web. They picked up human biological signatures. By the time the beams reached Earth's atmosphere, they had been transformed. The beams hit their targets, but with much less power than intended. And they carried something back to the ships that fired them, human biological codes, on the lead. Cooperative ship, alarms began to sound. Commander, something is wrong with our weapon systems, reported an officer. They're showing signs of degradation after just one firing. More alarms joined the first. Medical emergency on decks 3 through 7. Crew members are reporting sudden illness. Commander Luxonar couldn't understand what was happening. How is this possible? Scan those human defense platforms again. The scan showed the truth. The humans had created a weapon that used their own DNA as a weapon. It was spreading through the cooperative fleet like a virus, affecting both the ship's systems and their crews. They've weaponized their biological signature, the science officer said in disbelief. Our ships are partly biological. Our systems can't defend against this kind of attack. Commander Luxonar made a quick decision. All ships, increase distance. From Earth, prepare for a full attack. We must destroy their defense platforms before this spreads further. But it was already too late. The human infection was spreading from ship to ship. Cooperative crew members were falling ill. Ship systems were failing. The humans had turned the aliens' own biological technology against them. On Earth, military leaders watched with cautious hope. It's working, said General Carter, looking at the data from their sensors. Their ships are showing signs of system failure. Frank Miller nodded. Now for Phase 2. Colonel Winters, are your squadrons ready? Jack Winters, now promoted to colonel, stood at attention. Yes, sir. Fighter squadrons are prepared for launch. For the past 6 months, humans had been building spacecraft using the adapted alien technology. Now hundreds of small fighter craft launched from bases around the world. They carried special missiles containing concentrated human biochemical compounds. Colonel Diane Russo led the first squadron. She had been a test pilot before the aliens came. Now she was commanding the first human attack on an alien fleet. Remember your training, she told her pilots over the radio. Target their ventilation systems. That's their weak point. The human fighters were small and fast. The larger alien ships, already suffering from system failures, had trouble targeting them. The fighters flew close to the alien vessels and fired their special missiles directly into the ship's air intake vents. Inside the alien ships, the situation went from bad to worse. The concentrated human biochemical compounds spread through their air systems. More crew members fell ill. Critical systems failed. Commander Luxonar watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet fell apart around him. This is impossible. How could they develop such a weapon so quickly? Sir, we've lost contact with 23 ships, reported his communications officer. 7 more report critical system failures. They can't maintain orbit. The commander made the hardest decision of his career. Signal all remaining vessels. Retreat beyond this system's outer planet. We must regroup and report to the High Council. On Earth, people watched as many of the alien ships drifted out of control. Some broke apart. Others managed to activate their engines and flee toward the edge of the solar system. In the White House Situation Room, President Campbell received the reports with mixed feelings. How many alien ships have we destroyed? 38 disabled or destroyed, reported General Carter. The rest are retreating. Frank Miller looked at the casualty reports with a grim expression. We've lost 93 pilots and 4 defense platforms. But considering what we were up against, it's a miracle we survived at all. Dr. Nelson spoke quietly. It wasn't just our weapons that won this, it was our biology. Something about human DNA is fundamentally incompatible with their technology. We're naturally toxic to them. President Campbell looked around the room at the tired faces of her advisors and military leaders. Then let's hope they've learned their lesson, because if they come back, we'll be ready for them. Beyond Neptune's orbit, the 12 surviving ships of the once mighty cooperative fleet regrouped. Commander Luxonar prepared his report for the High Council. He had never failed a mission before, but he had never faced a species like humans before either. The humans have demonstrated unexpected capabilities, he wrote. They have not only adapted our technology, but have weaponized their own biological makeup against us. Standard containment procedures are ineffective. I recommend a complete reassessment of our approach to this species. As his ship turned toward home, Commander Luxonar looked back at the distant blue planet. The humans had done the impossible. They had defeated the most powerful fleet in the cooperative. The galaxy would never be the same again. 10 years passed since the battle that became known as the 7-Day War, Earth had changed in ways no one could have imagined before first contact. Humanity had spread throughout the solar system, using the technology they had adapted from the aliens. Mars now had 3 major cities under large domes. Mining operations worked on the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. Ships explored the edges of the solar system, and some brave crews were preparing for the first journey to nearby stars. Dr. Amanda Wright stood by the window of her office on the space station Harmony. The large ring-shaped station orbited Earth and served as the headquarters for the Interspecies Relations Agency. Amanda was now the director of this agency, created to handle any future contact with alien life. She watched as a small ship approached the station. This meeting had taken years to arrange. After the defeat of their fleet, the Galactic Cooperative had withdrawn completely. For nearly a decade, humans had heard nothing from them. Then 6 months ago, a message had arrived. The Cooperative wanted to talk. Amanda felt both hopeful and nervous. She had never given up on the possibility of peaceful relations with aliens. But after 2 disastrous contacts and a war, many humans didn't share her hope. The ship docking at the station was not like the previous alien vessels. It was smaller and had a different design. The aliens inside were not the blue-skinned beings from the first contact. These were Firaxians, a species known for their diplomatic skills. Amanda met President George Martinez in the station's main conference room. He had been elected 2 years ago on a platform of strengthening Earth's defenses while cautiously opening diplomatic channels. "Are you ready for this?" he asked Amanda. She nodded. "I've been ready for 10 years. The alien delegation entered the room. The Firaxians were shorter than humans, with golden skin and large eyes. They moved with careful grace. Their bodies were covered in simple white clothing that seemed to glow slightly. "Director Wright, President Martinez," the lead alien spoke through a translation device. "I am Ambassador Kelter of the Galactic Cooperative. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting." Amanda and the President exchanged glances. This was already going better than their previous contacts. The aliens were using proper titles and showing respect. "We welcome you to Earth space," President Martinez replied. "We hope this meeting will lead to better understanding between our peoples." The Firaxian ambassador made a gesture that might have been a bow. "The Cooperative High Council has spent much time discussing your species. We have never before amended our charter to create a new classification, but humans have forced us to do so." The ambassador activated a small device that projected an image of text in the air. "Class 0 civilization. Approach with diplomatic caution. Technological assimilation capabilities present existential risk. Trade restrictions in effect." Amanda read the text with interest. "What does this classification mean for Earth?" "It means," said the ambassador, "that we recognize your sovereignty and your right to exist without interference. The Cooperative will no longer attempt to contain or control your development." President Martinez nodded slowly. "And what do you want in return for this recognition?" "We propose a non-aggression treaty," the ambassador said, "and limited cultural exchange. We believe there is much we could learn from each other if we proceed with caution." President Martinez looked at Amanda, who gave a small nod of encouragement. "We accept your proposal," he said, "and we offer something in return." He motioned to an aide who brought forward a small container. "Our scientists have developed a neutralizing agent that protects alien technology from human biochemical interference. We're willing to share it as a gesture of goodwill." The Firaxian ambassador's large eyes widened slightly. It was the only sign of surprise he showed. The slight tremor in his hands betrayed his feelings. The humans were offering to solve a problem the Cooperative's best scientific minds had failed to address. "The Cooperative accepts this generous offer," the ambassador said after a moment. "Perhaps there is much our civilizations can learn from each other after all." As the formal treaty signing proceeded, Captain Eric Powell stood watch from the station's security center. His ship, the Defiant, maintained position just outside scanning range, weapons ready. The failed first contact had taught humanity a valuable lesson about trust in space. "Keep all systems at ready," he told his crew. But let's hope we don't need them. The signing ceremony was broadcast to Earth and all human colonies. People watched with mixed feelings. Some were excited about the possibilities of peaceful contact with aliens. Others remained suspicious, remembering the war after the ceremony. Amanda showed the alien delegation around the space station. She explained how humans had adapted to life in space and how they had used the alien technology. "Your people advance very quickly," the ambassador commented. "In just 10 years, you've accomplished what takes most species centuries." "We had a good reason to hurry," Amanda replied. "Fear is a powerful motivator." The ambassador seemed to consider this. "Yes, we have learned that humans are at their most dangerous when threatened. It is a trait we did not fully appreciate before." That evening, after the aliens had returned to their ship, Amanda met with President Martinez for a private conversation. "Do you think it will work this time?" she asked. "Real peace?" The president looked thoughtful. "I think they're sincere. They've realized we're not going to just disappear, and we're too dangerous to fight. Peace is their best option." "And ours," Amanda added. "We have so much to learn from them if we can just get past our mutual fear." Over the next few years, careful exchanges began between Earth and the Galactic Cooperative. Human scientists visited cooperative worlds, always with special protective gear to prevent their biology from affecting alien technology. Alien scholars came to Earth to study human culture and history. Trade routes opened with strict protocols to ensure safety. Human-modified technology became highly valued in some parts of the galaxy for its unique properties and enhanced performance. The cooperative's archives were updated with a special notation. About Earth, approach with extreme caution. The humans themselves are the weapon. But as time passed, that warning took on a different meaning. Humans proved to be not just physically dangerous, but dangerous in their ideas, their creativity, and their ability to adapt. They transformed everything they touched, including the Galactic Cooperative itself. 20 years after first contact, humans had spread to nearby star systems. Their unique biology and adaptive technology allowed them to thrive in places other species found challenging. They became known throughout the galaxy not just as warriors, but as problem solvers, explorers, and innovators. Amanda Wright, now in her 60s, watched from the observation deck of Earth's first embassy on the cooperative homeworld, as ships from a dozen species arrived for a galactic conference. Humans were now full members of the cooperative, with special provisions to accommodate their unique biology. "We came a long way from that day in the Nevada desert," said Frank Miller, who had joined her for the historic occasion. Amanda nodded. "We learned that what makes us dangerous, our adaptability, our biology, our determination to survive, is also what makes us valuable." The galaxy had discovered what the cooperative learned the hard way. Humans were indeed lethal, but they were so much more than that. They were transformative. And in a vast, diverse galaxy that made them not something to fear, but something to embrace.